Today on Sporting Top 10, we'll be counting down the top North American sports franchises. Now, how I made this list is I took into account franchises' traditions, their popularity across the globe, and I made them into a list. And at number 10, we have the New England Patriots. Now, some people might say, why don't you have the New England Patriots higher? But listen, the New England Patriots weren't a dynasty till Tom Brady showed up there. They have their golden age right now, and then after he leaves, now that they got rid of Garoppolo and he's on the 49ers, they might not ever reach this pinnacle again. So this is why I have the Patriots so low. And at number 9, I have the New York Knicks. Now listen, the Knicks only have a few championships under the belt, but they have a long history of great players, and basketball is better when the Knicks are a great team. The Knicks are located in the mecca of street ball. So the NBA is better when the Knicks are better. And at number 8, we have the Chicago Bulls. Now, I have the Chicago Bulls a bit lower than some people might expect because, listen, their reign was so condensed. It was 6 titles in 8 years, and maybe if Michael didn't spend 2 years playing baseball, they could have won 8 in 8 years. But since then, they have won 1 division title. That was the 1 year where Derrick Rose was the MVP. So we don't know if the Bulls will ever get back to the pinnacle they had. And at number 7, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I don't usually talk about hockey too much on this channel, but the Toronto Maple Leafs are in the biggest city in Canada. Toronto is an international city, and much like New York is to the NBA, Toronto is to the NHL. And since Toronto hasn't won a championship in 67, they are looking promising with Austin Matthews, and the NHL is just better when Toronto is good. At number 6, we have the Boston Red Sox. Now, the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, they need to thrive for baseball to be good. Baseball is kind of boring to the average sports fan. That's why dominance with the Boston Red Sox, who are an 8-time champion, and the Yankees, who are a 27-time champion, are so crucial. And at number 5, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't buy into Dallas Cowboys always being America's team, but you can't argue with their success. They're a 5-time champion. They were dominant in the 90s, and they're just a solid franchise run all around by Jerry Jones. And at number 4, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the reason why I have the Pittsburgh Steelers above the Dallas Cowboys on this list is because Pittsburgh is a 6-time champion. That's the most of all time. They have won 4 titles in 6 years, so they have a dynasty. And also, although Cowboys are considered America's team, Pittsburgh Steelers fans travel very well. All across the country, if you see the Steelers at an away game, you always see black and gold in the crowd. And at number 3, we have the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Los Angeles Lakers are a 16-time champion, second most all-time to the Celtics. They really have been dominant in every era of basketball. Ever since the George Mikan days, that's going way back. Then they had Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, then Wilt Chamberlain joined the squad. Then all the way into the 80s with Showtime Lakers with Magic, James Worthy, and Kareem. And with Kobe and Shaq and that dynasty. And now, LeBron's looking to start another dynasty in LA. LA is the spot for basketball. But I take that back. Number 2 is the Boston Celtics. Now, the Boston Celtics, I think, are one of the most well-run franchises all around, stemming back all the way to Red Auerbach, and even in present day with Brad Stevens, who I think is one of the best coaches in the NBA. Boston Celtics are a 17-time champion. One time they won 8 championships in a row. That is ridiculous. And they've had success of players. They've had Bill Russell, who's an 11-time champion, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, then all the way up to Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen when they made the original Big Three. The Celtics are the kings of basketball. And my number 1 North American sports franchise of all time is the New York Yankees. What else is there to say? They're a 27-time champion. They've had just great players after great players. Ruth and Gehrig and Murderers Row. Then you go to their dynasty in the 90s with Andy Pettitte, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera. They're just such a dominant squad. And now they have recent success along with the Red Sox with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. The two twin towers. The Yankees are a dominant squad. That's why they take the top spot.